So pop up, Granny Goose and your dad. Fast forward, you grow up, and what age did you join the Air Force? I know I kind of maybe skipped, the growing up years.
Let's see, 1958, January of 58, I became a commissioned officer in the United States Air Force. No.
So you had even joined before that?
No, I didn't join it. I went.
Oh,
to,
you went to OCS?
No, I didn't do that. I went to ROTC in college. If you went to Oklahoma A&M, you had to take ROTC.
And Oklahoma A&M
Was
is now Oklahoma State, right?
Yeah, which is 2 years. If you went to Oklahoma A&M, you had to take ROTC for 2 years. All land grant colleges at that time, if you went to them, you had to take ROTC for 2 years. And I think the same thing was true for Texas A&M. All that. Yeah. Of course, we weren't as rah-rah as they were, but
y'all were just
2 years, and then you went through that, and then they would look at you, and then they say, "Hey, that guy looks like a pretty good officer. I'm going to offer him to go into advanced ROTC."
Advanced ROTC.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they give you an offer. You say, "Would you like to go into advanced ROTC?" And when you come out, you'll become commissioned officers. And so they give you this spell, and you say, "Okay, I think I'll do that."
What did they offer you? What was in the spiel when they told you to sign up?
Oh, I don't know.
But they sold you on it. Or did you want to go into the Air Force since you were a kid?
I never entered my mind that I'd end up in the service for 10 years.
So not when you were 16 in high school, you weren't like, "Boys, I'm going to the Air Force."
I was probably the worst saluter and yes sir, no sir person in the Air Force.
Well, you learned how to do it though. If you got to where you got.
No, I got in organizations where I didn't have to do it.
I guess that's another way to do it too. And
some organizations are people are rank conscious. This one they were objective compass like missiles and rocket motors and space and all that good stuff like that. R&D.
And Papa, when you started working with the guys who loved rockets and loved space, and when you first joined into the Air Force, were you kind of
No, I didn't.
shocked?
I didn't start that at first.
So where did you start?
Well, I started as a petroleum officer because I had a chemical engineering degree.
So a petroleum officer, is that working with all things that need gas or oil?
Yeah, I had a crew of airmen that worked with me, and we refueled the planes, and we had a motor pool that have people put gas in cars. We had a pump like you have today.
Yeah.
And we did the storage facilities.
For the jets and planes?
Well, we refilled the planes. Now, sometimes you have people that do that yourself, and most times they have contractors if you're in the United States. But anyway, so we did everything associated with fuel.
So when did they say, "Roger, you're pretty good at this. We need you to now work on the big projects with the rockets"?
I went to Alaska, and I was up there as a fuel officer, and then they had what they call an AFIT program. And that's the Air Force Institute of Technology. And so I applied to go back to get my master's degree, and I got my master's degree in mechanical engineering. And then when I went there, they sent me to Edwards Air Force Base in a new organization they had there, and we were going to run do the technical management for the large solids that this country was trying to build at that time.
So, Papa, did you choose hey, this is what I really want to do is go to the advanced school, or was it?
I chose. I chose to.
Did they push you, kind of say,
No,
"Hey, Rod, you're good at this"?
I chose to go to school.
Yeah, it was a good
You
idea.
had to be selected.
So you were a big dog. They said.
No, I was just trying to get ahead.
A smart dog.
I was trying to get ahead. I really didn't think of myself as a smart dog. I just says, let me see if they think I've got the capability to do it.
So how long did you have to stay in Edwards?
Well, I went to school for 2 years, and then they sent me to Edwards, and I was there about 4 years. See, when you do that thing, you get if you get a 2-year degree.
Okay.
Then you get another 4-year commitment. So they say for your 2 years, going to school, you've got to stay in the Air Force for 4 years for that.
Okay.
So I was committed to the Air Force for 4 years.
And at that point, you were just learning everything about rockets.
No, I learned after 4 years they sent me there, and I didn't know what a rocket motor was. Yeah.
So I'm curious. One thing a lot of people say in college nowadays is like, "Hey, I didn't necessarily learn about my job in college, but I developed discipline, or it did this for me, but I didn't learn what I needed to learn." Was it like that for you?
Well, you don't know what you like.
Yeah.
I think you've got to go into places with an open mind, and you don't know what you don't know.
I agree.
And you might find something that you love. And as I said, when I went there, I got this little cut in my wrist. I got rocket motors in my blood. And
so that's how it was, like a Spider-Man type thing.
That was a passion.
So the rocket fuel turned you into the Rocket Man.
Well, no, just rockets in general. I wasn't rocket fuel. It was just developing them and making them do what they're supposed to do. Designing them, develop them, test them.
And that was just, you were one of the first people to ever do it.
Well, the big stuff, but you just fall into it,
Yeah.
Oh, there was rocket motors out there at that time. There was all kinds of stuff. Minuteman and Poseidon and all. They were out there.
What were Minuteman and Poseidon?
They were ballistic missiles. They were in silos, and they protect the United States with nuclear weapons from the Russians.
So those are defense mechanisms if something was coming at us.
They're offensive mechanisms.
Okay.
If we think you're gonna do it, we're gonna nuke you.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
So those that was Poseidon. Papa, what was one of the great ones?
Well, you know what the Poseidon is, don't you?
I don't.
That's one that goes into a submarine, and they can launch it from the bottom of the sea.
No way. How does it? It goes all the way through the ocean.
Yeah, it pops up through the water, and then it gets guidance, and they pop it up out of the submarine hull, and I think they hold 12 or something like that. But they can be right next to their shore.
Did you ever work on one of those?
Nope.
Just a space one.
That's just no. I worked on ground-to-ground defensive, offensive missiles or defensive missiles, or
So
I worked on something like the space shuttle uses today. Those solid rocket motors they stick on the side.
Did you see the one today?
No.
We put one in the air today.
Yeah.
Blue Origin.
Well, your mother said it was SpaceX. I said no, it's Blue Origin. Now the Blue Origin that's a good concept.
It's commercialized.
It's
concept.
No, Blue Origin is better than SpaceX.
Is that breaking news? That's from a rocket scientist.
That's my opinion.
So buy Amazon and not Tesla?
Well, I don't know.
We're not your financial advisors.
I know he's not going to. I don't know what you do it, but if you look at a rocket motor, and I worked on one that was a military one that carried a warhead that killed people. Put weapons out. It took half the energy to get 5,000 feet.
Yep.
And then once you got above the atmosphere and got it moving, then it took the other half energy. It might go 5,000 feet's a mile. Okay, let's put that way. So then you might take the other half energy and go 40 miles or 50 miles in the air, see? And it was guidance. So the thing about having an airplane carry it with an air breathing system and then launch it from up there is really, really. Now, I'm not saying this is the last answer, but people's been thinking about that for
a long time,
since the 60s.
Yeah.
They were saying, let's take a rocket motor and put a track in it, and take it down a mountain, and let it shoot the air, and get it up maybe 1,000 feet, and then light it.
But that don't work, right?
Well, probably could work, but anyway, no, it just takes a lot of energy to overcome inertia and to get out of the atmosphere.
So, Papa, what do you think the fuel of the future is?
I don't know.
Did you see? So you didn't see Blue Origin's launch today? It was.
I've seen I haven't seen it today, but I've seen the first one was I saw runs on it.
Yeah, they did. Well, they're doing another one today.
Okay.
And they're
in 1980, I worked on an anti-satellite program, and we used I think it was an F-101 or 102 or some jet fighter.
okay.
We would hang a missile on it. We would the fighter would take it up as high as they could get it, maybe
Human pilot?
50, even 50 or 60,000 feet. I don't know what it was. And then we release it. We'd release the missile, and it would go kill a satellite 500 miles in the sky.
Wow.
And that was in 70. It's probably in the early 80s.
So would it go descend from the plane, or would it then go
They
up?
just drop it, and then it'd light, and then it'd take off. It had its guidance systems and stuff. It just take off.
Did you work on guidance systems a lot, Papa?
Heavens no.
I feel like those are a whole different realm of complication.
They're the smart guys.
Are they?
Yeah, I think they're the smart guys. Guidance and control are the smart guys. But we're the smart guy. We just push them. We don't guide them.
So, I mean,
something would go wrong, and they'd say, "Oh, Roger, your motor's gone." I said, "No, go check your drag numbers, you idiots." Sure enough, the aero people would come back and says, "Okay, we found the error."
So, Pop, what was the one missile or rocket that you are the most proud of?
Army TACMS.
Army TACMS. And that's what year?
It's a long time ago. Let's see.
Army TACMS.
Well, Army TACMS was a ground-to-ground missile for the Army.
Okay.
It would go maybe. Well, I always said it could carry a payload equal to a Volkswagen to Waco and hit your living room or bedroom.
Wow.
Okay.
It could do that.
Yeah. But it'd carry 1,000 pounds of warhead. And that they used it in both Iraq wars. And that was a good missile.
In this,
it was a little bit heavy, but anyway, it turned out to be a good missile, and they improved it. But that was a good missile. Yeah.
Was this one of the ones? So I know you worked in the industry forever. Was that one of the ones they called you back for? Because I know they needed.
Well, yeah, they called me. But anyway, no, I was on the design team. I helped develop it. I helped.
Would you draw it up, Papa? Were you drawing them?
No, I didn't do design.
You tell them what to draw.
I put the requirements down.
Okay.
And then I was basically the referee.
Could you give me an example of what a few requirements might have been?
We want the energy to take 1,000 miles, or we want the energy to take 1,000 pounds, 50 miles.
Okay.
And so our team would say this, that our team, our aerodynamic people say, okay, that takes X number of energy,
Right.
and then you'd give this requirement to a company,
Yep.
and you'd say, okay, we want this missile that's this long. This is a rocket motor. It's this long. It's this. You got this diameter.
Yep.
You got this area to work with, and now we want you to get us a rocket motor that has this much energy in it.
What were some of the companies you'd usually go to? Boeing?
No, Boeing. We were equivalent to Boeing, so we were the integrators.
Oh, okay.
We would go to propulsion companies to provide the propellants and the hardware to build a motor.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so they say, oh, I got a problem, and so what we'd have to do is try to figure it out. Was it a big problem or a little problem, or what do you got to do about it?
So that, what was it? Say the name of it one more time, Papa. The one you said they used in the Iraq War?
Army TACMs.
The Army TACMs.
Yeah.
That was one of the ones you're most proud of. What about, you sent one to space, right?
Well,
you were involved with
I was.
space.
Yeah, when I was started out, we were doing motors, large motors to carry nuclear warheads, and those never really got traction.
Right.
Yeah.
But we wanted a lot of them, right? During.
Yeah. At the end of my program, I did missiles or guidance, divert systems and stuff for.
Yeah.
I'm going to let's see.
Very scientific.
Missile defense.
Missile defense.
Missile defense. If somebody sends a warhead to us, we had a system that would, a rocket motor or a rocket motor system or a propulsion rocket motor. I'm going to say a missile system
That would track her down.
that would identify them, know where they are, and intercept them. That's what I end up working on.
So could I say right now that I'm confident that if something was coming to the United States, we'd blast out of the sky, no problem. We got that, right?
Well, if the stupid people know how to use it.
So they might need to. They
No,
might need to give you a
still
ring.
got to go use it. Yeah, I think there's a system out there,
Yeah, I feel like.
but they work. I think they work, but
Would y'all? Were you ever there around for any crazy testing of missiles and rockets, Papa? And do you remember them?
I generally didn't like them. I says once you start flying them, I didn't like them because I couldn't change them.
That's true. I feel like the testing portion of a lot of what you did could have been kind of scary or nerve-wracking, at least.
Well, every once in a while you'd blow up one, then you have to go fix it.